Okay everybody, here we go. Down and onto the floor, and for the first 12 minutes or so we're going to be on our back. So the first thing we're going to do is bring our knees to our chest. So just nice and easy, knees to our chest. We're just going to keep that movement in our hips, just nice and slowly get going. When we hear the change stations, we're going to change this to a hold and just hold the knees into our chest.
Change movement.
There we go. And we're just going to now hold the knees into our chest, pull them nice and close. And you can rock from side to side if you want. I changed the angle on the camera today so that maybe my head won't get cut off. Okay, when we hear the change stations, we're going to go back to moving our knees forward and back into our chest.
Change movement.
Alright, and hands down by our side again. We're just going to move our knees into our chest. Nice and slow. You can put your feet down onto the floor if you want, or hover them above. Okay, when we hear the change stations, we're going to move into open and close knees. So we're going to put our feet on the floor and we're going to open and close our knees.
Change movement.
Alright,
now.
feet down onto the floor, knees and feet together. We're just going to open and close our knees. Again, working our hip joint as we do this. When we hear the change stations, we're going to go back into our knee hug and pull our knees into our chest.
Change movement now.
Alright, bring those knees up to the chest and pull them in. And again, if you just want to rock side to side, you can. Give your back a little bit of a massage on the floor. That's fine. Okay, next what we're going to do is we're going to put both legs flat on the floor and we're going to bring our left leg up and down. Slowly. We're going to do it slowly. Very controlled.
Change movement.
Alright,
now.
legs down onto the floor. And with that left leg, you're just going to bring that left leg up, high as you can go, and take it back down again. And then come back up. Nice and slow, far as you can. Really feel that extension, feel that stretch. Next, when we hear the change stations, we're going to go back to our feet and knees open and closing.
Change movement now.
Alright, feet back on the floor, knees and feet together. I'm just going to open those knees up. Keep those feet together, open those knees up. Far as you can. When we hear the change stations, we're going to go to a right leg up and down. Again, nice and slow.
Change
Alright.
movement
Feet
now.
on the ground and bring that right leg up now. And this time, see if you can notice any difference in your ability to bring that leg up compared to the left leg. You're going to get a better look at it in a minute because we're going to go back to the left leg next. So you'll be able to tell if the left leg or the right leg has got more flexibility in it. Can you get the left leg higher without having to bend your knee? Or is the right leg better? When we hear change stations, we're going to go back to the left leg, up and down.
Change movement
Alright, left leg,
now.
up and down. You should be feeling that in the lower back, in your hips area. Bring it up as high as you can. And if you can avoid touching the floor, don't touch the floor. When we hear the change stations, we're going to go to our butts up and down off the floor. Keep it going.
Change
Alright.
movement
Feet
now.
together, knees close together, and you're just going to raise your butt off the ground. And down. And up. And down. When we hear the change stations, we're going to go back to our right leg, up and down. Up and down.
Change movement
Alright, feet flat
now.
again. Right leg up, all the way down. I'm definitely better on the left side. I can feel that the right side's tighter in my hip joint and in my hamstring. So definitely need to work on that. When we hear the change stations, we're going to do, can't read my own writing.
Change
Okay, leg
movement
raise, hold, feet together.
now.
So we're going to bring those legs up, hold them, feet together. The lower you hold them to the ground, the harder this is. So if you need to bring them up higher, bring them up higher. When we hear the change stations, we're going to go back to butt lift off the ground.
Change
Alright,
movement
feet back on the ground.
now.
Up and down with our butt. When we hit change stations, we're going to go straight into a bridge. So you're just going to hold this position as high off the ground as you can. Get your butt up as high as you can. Keep it going.
Now stop and get ready to check your heart rate.
Alright, so
Here comes
just
the
check
10
your heart
second
rate.
count.
again, same as the
ready?
last time we did this, it
3,
shouldn't be too high.
2, 1. Count. Stop.
Alright,
and
straight into
resume
our bridge.
exercising.
Butt up off the floor, try and keep that as straight as you can. Hold that position. When we hit change stations, we're going to go back to our leg raise hold.
Change movement
Alright,
now.
feet back down and then leg hold. As I said before, the lower to the ground you can do this, the harder it is. The more you're working your abs. When we hit change stations now, we're going to go to alternate legs. So our legs are going to come up and down alternate, and we're going to do it slowly.
Change
Alright.
movement now.
And up slowly. And try and change them in mid-air. Try not to touch the ground. Do it slowly. The slower you can do this, the more you're going to notice it. When we hear the change stations, we're going to go back to our bridge.
Change
Alright,
movement
feet back on the
now.
ground. Bring your butt off the ground. Hold that position as high as you can. Hips high, nice and straight. Okay, next when we hear the change stations, we're going to go into our crunch. Remember with our crunch, it's only a small movement. We're keeping our hips and our back on the ground, and we're just crunching our shoulders forward.
Change movement
Alright.
now.
Feet down, hands on your head, and just a small movement up. Just working the head and shoulders. Don't grab behind the head, just have your hands resting nicely on the side of your head. Doing all the work from your core. When we hear the change stations, we're going to go back into our slow leg raises. Keep it going.
Change movement
Great stuff.
now.
Back into our leg raises. Nice and slow. When we hear the change stations, we're going to go into dead bugs. Oh, dead bugs. Me not like it, dead bugs.
Change
All right.
movement now.
Dead bugs, feet and arms up off the ground, and you're going to take the alternate arm and leg away. For whatever reason, I'm having a real hard time coordinating this. When you hear change stations, we're going to go back into our crunches.
Change movement
Alright, back
now.
into our crunches. Hands on the side of your head again, and just crunch up. Nice small movement. Far as you can go. When we hear change stations, we're going to do leg raise, open and closed.
Change movement.
Alright, I'm going to turn sideways
now.
and face you so you can see what this is. Okay, so you can bring your legs up, nice and high, and then you're just going to open and close them. Nice and slow. When we hear the change stations, we're going to go back to our dead bugs. Your core should be burning by now. You should be really working hard through the middle of your body.
Change movement
Alright.
now.
Back to our dead bugs. See the way I stalled there by changing the direction? You don't do that at home. When we hear the change stations, we're going to do knees to chest, and then we're going to do a leg extension.
Change movement
Alright,
now.
hands on the floor, knees into chest, and you're just going to extend your legs upwards. Nice and slow, be very deliberate. And down. When we hear change stations, we're going to go back to our leg raises, open and closed. Don't know if I've got enough room here between me and the sofa to do this here. So I'm going to change the direction. Nice and slow, be deliberate.
Change movement
Alright,
now.
change sideways again, feet up, and we're just opening and closing. When we hear change stations, what does that say? We're going to lunge the left foot forward. So we're going to get up and lunge the left foot forward.
Change movement now.
Alright, up we get. We're just going to come off our back for a second. And we're going to lunge the left foot forward. And you should feel this in the hip flexor. When we hit the change stations, we're going to go back to our knees to chest.
Now stop.
Alright,
and
check
get
your heart
ready
rate.
to check your heart rate. Here comes the 10-second count. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1. Count. Stop.
Okay.
And resume exercise.
Back onto your back, knees into your chest, and you're just going to extend those legs. Nice and slow. Next time when we hear the change stations, we're going to do alternate leg raises as fast as we can. So we've done them slow, now we're going to do them fast.
Change movement
Alright.
now.
Alternate leg raises as fast as you can. When we hear the change stations, we're going to go back to our lunge forward. Left leg forward. Keep it going. Fast as you can. Woo! Feel that. Keep it going. You guys are doing great.
Change movement.
Awesome.
now.
Thank you. All right, how we get? Lean forward into that front lunge. Stretch that hip flexor out. Really pull that forward. Okay, next time when we hit change stations, we're going to go back onto our back and we're going to do elbows to knees. Left elbow to right knee.
Change movement.
All right,
now.
last one on our back. When we hear the change stations, alternate leg raises, fast as you can.
Change movement now.
Okay, here we go. Keep going. Fast as you can. Faster than me. When we hear the change stations, we're going to be on our hands and knees. We're going to go into our alternate Supermans.
Change movement.
Oh, that's not
now.
easy. I think I'll take that one out on Monday. Alright, alternate Supermans. Left hand, right leg. Oh, work on the balance. When we hit the change stations, roll back over, elbows to knees.
Change movement.
Alright, roll
now.
back over, elbows to knees. When we hear the change stations, it's, what does that say? Oh, we're going to get back on all fours.
Change movement.
Alright,
now.
back onto all fours. And here we're going to do a back stretch, so keep your knees nice and wide. You're going to tuck your butt down into between your feet, and you're going to come up, roll forward, and go back, and up, and roll forward. Okay, when we hear the change stations,
movement now.
back into our Supermans. So alternate arms and legs. When we hear the change stations, we're going to go into a plank, full arm plank.
Change movement.
Alright,
now.
up onto your toes, into that plank position, hold that. When we hear the change stations, we're going to go into our back stretch and roll.
Change movement.
Alright, knees
now.
down, wide apart so your butt can go down in between them. And down we go, in between, and up, and roll forward. And down we go, and up, and roll forward. Okay, when we hear the change stations, we're going to go into our push-up.
Change movement. now.
Alright, I'm going to do them from my knees because my ankle won't take it on my hands. You can do it on your feet if you want, but I can't do that right now. So I'm just going to get my knees back as far as I can and do my push-ups. Once we hit the change stations, we're going to go back into our plank.
Change.
All right.
Movement
Here we
now.
go, back into our plank. When we hear the change stations, we're going to go into a plank elbow hold. So we're going to put our elbows down and hold that position.
Change.
All right.
Movement now.
Down onto our elbows, back into the plank position. When we hit the change stations, we're going to go into our push-ups.
Change. Movement now.
Okay, back into our push-ups. Knees back as far as you're comfortable, and down into your push-up. When we hear the change stations, we're going to lay flat on our face. Stomach on the floor, quads on the floor. And we're going to do a hamstring curl. We're going to do it nice and slow.
Now stop.
All right.
Get ready to check your heart rate.
Heart rate might be a little bit higher
Here
now.
comes the 10-second count. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1. Count. Stop.
All right, awesome.
Resume exercising.
Here we go, down onto our front. Hands up next to your head. And you're just going to do alternative curls with your right and left leg. Come up as high as you can. Try and touch your butt with your heel. Nice and slow. When we hear change stations, we're going to go into our elbow plank.
Change. Movement now.
Okay, back into our elbow plank. When we hear the change stations now, we're going to turn onto our left side and sit on our left side, lay on our left side. We're going to bring our right leg up as high as we can.
Change. Movement now.
Alright, down we go. Onto our left side. Feet together. You can have your hand on your head if you want. And you're just going to bring that right leg up and down, nice and slow. Control it all the way. When we hear the change stations, we're going to lay flat on our face again and lift our hamstrings. High as you
Change.
can.
Movement now.
Alright, very good. Roll over onto your front. Hands up by your head. And you're just going to do those alternate curls. Nice and slow. Next, when we hear change stations,
Change. Movement
okay, we're going to stay on
now.
our front. We're going to have our arms and legs straight out, and we're going to pull them off the floor. Hands and legs are off the floor. You should be just holding on to the floor with your core. Hold that. When we hear the change stations, back to our left side, leg raise. Hold it up for high as you can. Really feel your back and your buttocks doing all the work.
Change. Movement
Good stuff.
now.
Onto your left side. Feet together. You're going to bring that leg up. High as you can. When we hear the change stations, we're going to change to the right side, and we're going to do exactly the same thing we're doing right now.
Change movement now.
Alright, over onto the right side. Exactly the same thing. On your side, you can bring that leg up. When we hear the change stations,
Change
we're back into our
movement
stomach.
now.
Feet and legs off the floor. Okay, when we hear the change stations, we're going to go left leg, lunge back.
Change movement now.
Alright, up onto all fours. Have that left foot forward, and we're just going to rock back and hold that. When we hear change stations, we're going to go back into right side, left leg raise.
Change movement now.
Yeah, it's this way, isn't it? Okay. Right side, left leg raise. Okay, when we hear the change stations, we're going to go into right foot, lunge forward.
Change movement
Alright, up we get. Right foot forward. We're just going to stretch forward into that right foot. Again, trying to stretch the hip flexor. I can't go very far on this right foot. You're going to feel that stretch in the hip flexor. When you hear the change stations, you're going to go back to the left foot, lunge back.
Change movement
Alright, swap feet.
now.
Yeah, we're just going to roll back, keep that foot down. You can lift it up if you like, keep the heel down. You're just stretching in here in that hamstring. You should really feel a big stretch on that as we do this. When we hear the change stations, you're going to go into right foot, lunge back.
Change movement now.
Okay, right foot. We're going to lunge back. I have to bring the foot off the ground here, my ankle won't extend to that level. Okay, but I can still feel that stretch in my hamstring even though my foot's off the floor. I've still got a really good stretch going on. When we hear the change stations, we're going to do right foot, lunge forward.
Now stop and get ready to check your heart rate.
Alright, check your heart rate. Should be coming down now.
10-second count.
Coming to the end of our workout.
3, 2, 1, count. Stop and resume exercising.
Okay, back into our forward lunge. We're trying to feel that in the hip flexor. When we hear the change stations now, we're going to go back into our left foot forward lunge and we're going to do a reach for the sky.
Change movement.
Alright, left foot
now.
forward. Into that forward position, get that stretch on the hip flexor, and now you're going to reach up for the sky and feel that side stretch. Try not to use your hand to touch the floor, try and balance yourself in the position, keep your body over your legs. Really reach, high as you can. When we hear change stations now, We're going to do
Well done. You have
right foot
completed
back.
the 30-minute workout.
Okay, so
Now
go.
please make sure that you do some stretching and enjoy the rest of your day.
And we're just going to lean that back. When we hear the change start, when I say, we will just change into the left lunge, forward reach for the sky. And then we'll be done. Okay, and left foot forward. No, we did left foot forward. Sorry, right foot forward. Right foot forward. I'm trying to avoid the right foot because I don't want to do it. Okay, and reach for the sky. Reach higher. 10 more seconds. Woo! Good job. Well done, everybody. That's Friday's core floor workout done. You should feel pretty warm now, pretty tired, especially through the middle of your body, through the core, through your abs, through your lower back. Should be telling you that you've done a workout. Great job for everyone that did this today, and I'll see you again on Monday, hopefully, as long as I don't do anything stupid over the weekend. Alright, take care. Love to you all. Have a great weekend. See you next week. Bye-bye.